Let us enter Surah Al-Ikhlāṣ the way it was meant to be received, not as a long discourse, but as a moment of stillness. A few short verses, revealed in Mecca, answering one of the most profound questions a human heart can ask: who is your Lord? In a world crowded with images of gods, concepts of power, lineage, and hierarchy, this surah comes as a clearing of the ground. It strips belief down to its pure core. Its name, Al-Ikhlāṣ, means sincerity, because whoever truly understands it, their faith is purified from all distortions. The surah opens with a command, not just to the Prophet, peace be upon him, but to every believer after him. Kul huwallahu ahad. Say, He is Allah, the One. The word kul, say, is important. Ibn Kathir notes that this was revealed in response to those who asked the Prophet, peace be upon him, to describe the lineage or nature of his Lord, as if Allah were comparable to created beings. The answer begins by cutting through all multiplicity. Allahu Ahad. Not merely one in number, but Ahad, absolutely singular, unique, indivisible, without partner or comparison. Al-Qurtubi explains that Ahad negates every form of plurality, whether physical, conceptual, or imagined. In a subtle way, this verse also teaches confidence in faith. Belief is not defensive or apologetic. It is stated clearly, calmly, and without embellishment. Then the surah deepens the meaning of that oneness. Allahu Samad, Allah, the eternal refuge. As-Samad is a word the early scholars lingered over. Ibn Abbas described it as the one to whom all creation turns for their needs, while he himself needs nothing. As-Sa'di explains that this single word gathers together Allah's perfection, complete self-sufficiency, absolute authority, and everlasting existence. Everything else is fragile, temporary, and dependent. Yet hearts instinctively turn upward when they are in need. This verse quietly realigns that instinct, teaching us that reliance belongs fully to Allah alone, not to causes, people, or systems that eventually fail. The next verse removes one of the most persistent human tendencies, projecting biological or familial ideas onto the divine. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He neither begets nor is born. Here, the Quran negates both directions of lineage. Allah is not a source that produces offspring, nor a being that came from another. Al-Qurtubi points out that this verse responds to multiple claims at once. Those who said the angels were Allah's daughters, those who claimed Uzair or Isa were sons of God, and even pagan notions of divine ancestry. Ibn Kathir adds that being born implies a beginning, and begetting implies need. Both are impossible for the one who is eternal and self-sufficient. In just a few words, the surah protects belief from slipping into myth, metaphor taken literally, or emotional exaggeration. The surah concludes by sealing the concept completely. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. And there is none comparable to him. This final verse closes every door that might still be left open. No equal, no rival, no likeness in essence, attributes, or actions. As-Sa'di explains that this includes everything the mind can imagine. If something can be conceived, Allah is unlike it. This is not meant to create distance, but clarity. When Allah is understood as incomparable, worship becomes focused, humble, and sincere. We stop reshaping God in our own image. The Prophet, peace be upon him, emphasized the weight of this surah in several authentic hadith. In one narration, he said that Surah Al-Ikhlāṣ is equal to 1/3 of the Quran in meaning because it encapsulates the foundation of Tawhid, knowing who Allah is. Another companion was seen repeating it often in prayer, and when asked why, he said, "Because it describes the most merciful, and I love to recite it." The Prophet, peace be upon him, responded that Allah loved him for that love. As we step back from these 4 short verses, a quiet realization settles in. Al-Ikhlas is not just something we recite, it is something we return to whenever faith becomes cluttered. It teaches us that Allah is one when the world feels divided, that He is the refuge when everything else feels unstable, that He is beyond all human projection, and that nothing we fear or admire stands beside Him. In sincerity lies peace, and in knowing Allah as He has described Himself, the heart finally finds rest.